call me a god. You call me a god. You call me a god. You call me a god.
Let's go. I'm about to go off like a weapon. Fuel to the top, got a filled up engine. In my thoughts, obsession. I will not stop, no, I'm never second guessing. I got a God complex. Haters love to hate, but I never feel pressed. Got a lot on my plate, but I never get stressed. I'll take all the pressure like I'm acing this test. Tear it up like I'm Jason. I see the world like it's ready for the taking. I see this place like a game I'm playing. Straight to the bank to collect my payments. No negotiations, it's my way, I was born impatient. And like a damn Freemason, I'll run this nation.
You call me a god. You call me a god. You call me a god. You call me a god.
I don't know how to stop. I just go till I drop. Whether it's working or shots, give it all that I got. You can watch me work in my element. Anyone in the way is irrelevant. You wanna cross me, cool, not intelligent. Cause I don't forget shit like an elephant. Go ahead and tempt me, put it on the line and you'll come up empty. If I got time, I'm deadly. Never caught off guard, no, I'm always ready. I got a hand real steady. Look me in the eye and you'll see no hezzy. About to get real messy. I'll put you in a grid 6 feet like Kenny.
You call me a god. You call me a god. You call me a god.
What is good, everybody? It is your boy, Reckless Ray Dinero, and we are back at it again with another episode of Future Financial Strategies. The world's become a very wild place. Things are happening really fast. But before we get into the things that are happening and the world being a very wild place, oh, interesting. I can have video backgrounds now. Okay. We got some new functionality in StreamYard. I'm kind of excited to see what that's about. But make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Obviously, the name of the episode is More Wars, More Poors. I'm going to be the first person to say that, you know, I don't like gratuitous loss of life, period. But it seems that like every time the boat stops a rocking a little bit, maybe you're about to find your footing, they find a new group of people to attack and or kill another new group of people. And somehow this becomes America's problem. And, you know, it's obviously not a popular opinion because everybody wants there to be good guys and bad guys. And this be some sort of metaphoric, philosophic battle of wits. But the issue that I see here is that the American middle class and poor are the ones who are going to pay for this, and they don't have any more money. I find it interesting that the people who don't have a grip on their financial situation, you can't even get your bank account right, but all of a sudden you're a professional in geopolitics. All of a sudden you have an opinion on everything. Have an opinion on the fact that you're poor. How about we have an opinion on that? Because I'm getting real sick of seeing these people who are blatantly broken. Just last week were complaining about not being able to afford gas or the price of food or the price of everything at this point, because the more we print, the less money you losers have. Coming out with their hot take, their opinion, they're wanting to judge other people. Judge your bank accounts, please, first. Fix your situation, please, first. Because every time I see you with your opinion, I have no other choice but to judge you because your situation is terrible. You live like a peasant in America. Congratulations. But apparently you've got time to care about people who are so far away that you'll never, ever see them. You'll never meet any of these people with your stupid opinion. And I'm not even going to say that the opinions are right or wrong. They're just stupid considering that you're poor and you're suffering and you're not fixing your situations. But it's cool, though, because whatever your opinion is, you're going to get to pay for this because apparently this is also America's problem. While you can't afford to drive to work consistently, you can't afford to keep your lights on. Most of you, statistically, are over 60 days behind on a bill. Apparently, you're not paying your bills. But you've got a hot take. You've got a hot take. You've got an opinion. It's a beautiful thing, and bless up, man. I guess that's going to work out for you. But at the end of the day, this is going to boil back down to the middle class and the poor, which are affected by inflation the worst. The hidden tax that affects everybody, middle class and poor, are levied on heavier than the wealthy. And it's kind of why they're going to keep winning. We're going to do an episode on that next week. But for this week, we had to pivot because all sorts of stuff is going down. You know, Israel and Palestine, they're apparently at war. I'm not sure how many wars one side gets to turn the other side's power and water off, but, you know, they want to call it war, whatever. I got no dog in the fight, nor do I care. I don't care. We're focused on fixing our situations before we fix everybody else's situation. America should take notes from old reckless Ray De Niro. But let's keep it pushing. The thing that's interesting is this isn't just that war that's going on. Another war has started, and it started getting talked about in our purview on October 6th. It's been happening before October 6th. But I'm going to bring it to the stage because it's going to be an interesting time considering our ability, America's ability, I should say, not our ability because we don't print money, is getting ready to get hampered. I'm going to pull this up to the front of the stage, make this a little bigger for you. So what are we talking about? Now, obviously, I always start my news in the space that is my area, the crypto news. So we start off on the Daily Hodl. Over 17. Well, actually, let's just make it accurate. 17 billion 400 million in U.S. Treasuries dumped by BRICS nations, China, Brazil, Saudi Arabia, in 1 month. 17 billion. Ouch. That's going to, you know what that's going to do? That's going to make it really hard to just print money up. That's what that's going to do. They can't just make money up out of thin air when people are dumping U.S. bonds. But, you know, you go through this, and this is just talking about they're obviously shifting over. They're shifting over to sound money. They're moving out of the dollar. That's the whole intent of BRICS. This goes live next month on the 1st. BRICS Nation. They're coming out with sound money. I'm pretty sure the rest of the world is going to want to be a part of that in some shape, fashion, or form because people are sick and tired of being financially strong-armed by the U.S. tyranny that we impose upon people via our monetary policy, because we get to use that as a big weapon because we don't actually want to go to war. We punish people with finances first. It's how we keep all the underdogs in their positions, how we lord our power over countries without physically going over and wrecking their stuff, how we incite their people to riot and revolt. Where people are done messing with us. And November 1st, there's going to be a third option. I say third because Bitcoin was released in 2008. There's already a good second option. But there's going to be a third option. Now, what they're doing is the founding nations, they're starting to make their moves. Oof. I mean, this is just talking about how, oh, hold on, about to sneeze. Oh Lord, that was a good one. This is talking about how the BRICS nations and all the members that are joining, including the United Arab Emirates, are reducing their treasury holdings positions by hundreds of millions of dollars. For instance, the United Arab Emirates reduced its treasury holdings by 300 million from 65.2 billion in June to 64.9 billion in July, and these numbers will continue climbing. As we can see, they're still holding a lot of treasuries, but this is a noticeable shift. Obviously, you don't just throw the baby out with the bathwater immediately. They're going to have to test this new system out to make sure that it works, but they will most likely, considering that BRICS is using sound money, systematically be dumping U.S. Treasury bonds and reducing those positions. Because, like, why would you hold pretend money when you could be a part of a system that plays with real money? There's still some trust issues with China being involved and Russia being heavily involved, but you know, if the system works, the system works. We'll see what it is. But this is an interesting conundrum in which we find ourselves. Now I'm going to share the next story from a more credible source. Okay, let's go. So now we're going to share this tab, and this is talking about the collapse of the Treasury bonds now ranks amongst the worst market crashes in history. That's how bad this is. Like, it's the money is getting funny, people. Since March 2020, Treasury bonds with maturities of 10 years or more have plummeted 46% per Bloomberg. That's just under losses seen in the stock market crash of the dot-com bubble burst. But wait a second. I thought crypto and Bitcoin were dangerous. Wow. Sounds like bonds are dangerous. And that's where all the retirees were parking their money. It looks like they're systematically wiping out wealth, people. A lot of retirees having to go back to work now. That's another trending popular story, is people who are retired having to go back to work. Interesting. What did we do? Well, we're going to talk about that, but I got one more for you that we're going to look at. It's from Investopia, another popular source. What's Investopia saying for us today? Well, they're saying, the market news, we're in the biggest treasury bond bear market ever, per Bank of America. Bank of America, people. It's a big bank. It's America's bank. The Bank of America. Bonds are getting beat. Just body shots. Wait a second. Oh, well, yeah, and this is saying the exact same thing. I mean, these are pretty much replicated stories. Like, this is consistent. The biggest treasury bond bear market in history, surpassing two similar periods in the 19th century, according to Bank of America research note. Exchange trade ETFs exposed to U.S. treasuries like the iShares 20-plus year treasury bond ETF have plummeted in recent years. Beatings, people. Beatings. What are we going to do? That's interesting. So I'll tell you what old Reckless Ray Bear did. Reckless Ray Bear woke up this week, opened a market on Monday, and he sold out at what was little, because I only had a little bit remaining, because I told you guys I'm going aggressive for the savings for the next property. So we'd been slowly getting out of our bond position, and we'd been shifting it over. All the new incoming monies were coming in, and they were going into QQQ position, which we've still got, Thank goodness. And we had a little bit left in that bond ETF. And I took it, cashed it out, and I put it in Bitcoin. I was like, I'd rather sit with my money in a medium that I'm getting ready to go into a bull run on than a medium that's getting dumped by the planet. I'm not gonna bet against the planet. The outside of the US, a lot of people are utilizing Bitcoin. Within the US, a lot of people are utilizing and getting into Bitcoin. We're getting ready to hit the bull cycle. We're going to do that. The other thing that we're doing, well, hold on. We'll talk about that after we get through the meat and potatoes of this, which is what happens if we default on our debt? Well, interesting story. The dollar collapses. Good question. What happens if the dollar collapses? So let's go with this. If the US defaults on its debt, the value of the dollar will decline sharply relative to other currencies because we have now defaulted on our debt, which means that our dollar notes really denotate nothing because we've defaulted on our debt, which means those dollars are nothing. This would have catastrophic consequences for the US. And I've got a couple of things that were listed out that the good old AI has told me about how this would affect the US if our dollar collapses, because that would affect all of us, rich and poor alike. Actually, it would only affect those rich people that were talking about cash is king because they sit in dollars all the time. We'd find out if they actually had them because they'd be probably hurling themselves off their roofs because they would lose literally all their buying power immediately. But importers' prices would increase, obviously. Weak dollar against other currencies. They're not going to want our dollar. They're going to want us to pay in other things, which we will be able to have less of because our dollars are worth less. Inflation rising rapidly. News report from today said Chipotle is going to be raising the price on everything $1. Well, what if Chipotle had to raise the price on everything $5 or $10? You gonna get your extra guac then? You gonna go get your Chipotle burritos then? Inflation, baby. That extra dollar, that is inflation. Prices are going up. Dollar is becoming worth less. So Chipotle needs more dollars to pay their people, to buy their products. It's the value of the dollar is in fact going down, folks. It is every day. Which is why I say don't sit in cash. Probably not the greatest idea. The price of stuff is getting more expensive. That means all those dollars that you saved from last year, now it buys less Chipotle. Notably, the price went up it's getting ready to go up on everything $1. The government not being able to borrow at current rates. Another big one. That means that everything's getting more expensive, including for the government. Money's drying up for everybody, including the government. Government doesn't even make money. We're the insurer of the government's debt because we got to pay taxes. Which brings me into our next one. A deficit that needs to be filled, increasing taxes. It needs to be filled by increasing taxes or printing money. Both of which weigh heaviest on the poor and middle class. Printing money devalues the dollar further. Now Chipotle can't just raise it $1. They got to raise it $2 or $2.50 to cover for the money printing because now the dollars are worth even less. So Chipotle needs even more to buy products because everybody's going, well, if the dollar is super cheap, and we all know that it's super cheap and the buying power isn't what it is because we're losing faith every day. If you still have faith, shame on you, in my opinion. But, I'm a financial anarchist. I've had no faith. That's why we're housed in Bitcoin. That's why we have paper assets. That's why we buy real estate. But considering this being country specific, real estate in the US is purchased in dollars. If the dollar crashes, The real estate crashes with it because it's bought in dollars. It's valued in dollars. Real estate in the United States is not valued in anything but dollars. Think about that. That's country specific. If our country's money, our monetary system fails, the property really doesn't mean that much aside from we have good ownership laws here and you could still continue to own your house. But like, I mean, at that point, what are we renting for? What are you collecting your rent in? Are we going to collect it in dollars? I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Going to be interesting. Raising taxes. We already know who makes all the money and that gets taxed, the middle class and the poor who already are broke. You will become broker. Moral of the story. Financial markets freezing up. Paper assets, again, majorly affected. Majorly affected. Now, because your stocks, your valuations, what you're holding these companies in, while Apple doesn't go away, there's going to be a pivotal shift to wherever till they figure out what we're exchanging in at this point. What does Apple want? What does Microsoft want? What do these chip manufacturers want? What do car manufacturers want? They're not going to want dollars. And the dollar collapsing could collapse some of these indices in the process of that while they're trying to sort this out. It's going to be interesting. Am I dumping my paper assets? Absolutely not. But am I strongly considering dialing back my investment in paper assets for a little bit? Definitely yes. An international crisis. Well, we're already having those, but for us, it would specifically be the collapse of the dollar. We would immediately, America, this is the worst case scenario where the lights turn off. We would be the international crisis at that point, because are you going to go to work for nothing? I'm not. Most people probably won't. This will grind a lot of stuff to a halt until they figure out until we figure out what's what. Nobody's planning on working for free. And if your dollar collapses, you're basically doing just that. Which means that now no one's working. Everyone's scared to go to work. Are you going to have police at that point? Are the police going to go work for free? Are your firefighters going to go work for free? Are the people at the energy plant going to go work for free? So I know for a fact that none of the cars will get built at this point because UAW is already going on strike and they want more money. And if the money becomes what now we all millionaires because the dollar ain't worth nothing, oof, gonna be a tough sell to get people to go to work. Let me pull myself back up to the front of the congregation. So what are we doing? Obviously, we are shifting over. We're going to go ahead and get that 6 months put in on the mortgage. I'm pretty sure that the other order of business is going to be to continue to accumulate Bitcoin at this point. Prioritization-wise, we'll be doing that. I might be switching since the market's getting ready to go down. I might start packing in that NEWT position, which does the puts to counteract my QYLD position, which does the calls. Calls are great when the market's going up. Puts pay out when the market is going down. So NEWT might be the play moving forward, at least until we get into this, going into this recession, depression, Great Depression, greatest depression, whatever we want to call it, because it is not looking good. But we're definitely gonna cover ourselves and get that covering for the home. We're gonna keep a percentage of that in the market. Obviously, we're gonna keep 50% of it in. And we're going to have that stocked in the portfolio. If we need to, we'll know we can pull that out of the portfolio. But yeah, it's it's looking real out here right now, folks. It's interesting times. Definitely, before we cast judgment or opinions on anybody, think about what's going to happen when this money drives up here. What are you going to what type of atrocities do you think is going to happen nationwide once everybody's asked to go to work for free, or your money is worthless and now we can't buy food? The power goes out. There's no police. There's no firefighters because, it's interesting to see what people devolve into when they don't have options. And we talk about it all the time. We talk about what happens in the hood, but the reality of the situation is none of us are worried about a missile being shot at our house, or a grenade being shot at our house, or a grenade being lobbed over a wall onto our house. Those aren't realities for us. But the question that I've always posited is, what will the reality be once this house of cards comes crumbling down? And it's something that the more I look at what's going on, the more I look at how people are so quick to react, are so quick to just accept what they're told to be mad about, to accept the status quo opinion while they're being robbed monetarily and have no opinion on it because no one told them besides Reckless Ray Dinero that you're being robbed. This government, this system is robbing you. The Fed is robbing you. Not only are they robbing you, they're giving money, aid, and support to everyone who is not of this country, and they're making you feel good about it. Your fellow countrymen are starving. Your fellow countrymen are failing out of this system. Your fellow countrymen are having resources literally taken from them and given to people who are not supposed to be here, who have crossed into this country illegally, but they get taken care of. And our own people who are Americans, legal, natural-born Americans, are not getting taken care of. We're sending billions of dollars to war efforts to countries that don't deserve it, that aren't our problem, that it's not our business. And we're sending billions of dollars there while people here are starving to death, going homeless, having to move 2 and 3 times. There's no assistance for them. They're literally moving homeless people to give illegals who are homeless their homes, or the spots, the resources for them. At some point, people, you'll understand. And maybe it's when you care so much about what's going on in every other country, and then suddenly you become homeless and it's actually your problem, because a lot of you get to sit on the couch, dig Cheeto crumbs out of your belly because you're out of shape and dysgenic. And it's no big deal. It's no big deal. But maybe after you've lost about 25 pounds because you can't eat, because you can't afford it, and you're sunburnt because you're outside, and you got to wait for that van that gives supplies and rations out to come around. You got to figure out, coordinate with all the other homeless people on when to find that van. Maybe then you'll care about your financial situation, or maybe then you'll reminisce about when you should have cared while you were putting stupid flags on your Facebook profile picture. Because I think you'll still have phones, because they give phones to homeless people now so that you guys can get on the internet, continue to be distracted. Because obviously, if you had to sit with the fact that you were homeless, or that you were a failure, or that you were losing in a system that was, in most of these cases, based on what I've been seeing lately, was made for you, you'd be darn right mad, and maybe we could get some stuff done. But no, you'll be on Facebook complaining. But maybe you'll think back and be like, man, should have been focused on my finances versus putting stupid flags on my profile picture. Should have been focused on my finances side instead of trying to argue with people who are moving forward in life on Facebook. I don't know. I'm not sure when this message is going to hit for people, but the information will be here. We obviously don't have any future financial strategies for getting out of homelessness, because the I believe in staying ready so you don't have to get ready. So we're going to start off with not being homeless. Like that's going to be the bare minimum of entry for this channel. Like if you got a roof over your head, we can work with you, but I don't know how to get back to having a roof. I'm pretty sure there's resources out there, and you'll have to just go find those. But thank you for tapping in. For those of you who are going to be on a little bit later, probably about, I'd say 7:30 ish. Oh, geez, another sneeze. Hold up. That was a spicy one too. Probably about 7:30 we'll be doing Guns and Butter this evening. Definitely tap in. We're going to have a live panel. Obviously, we'll be carrying this discussion forward. Looking forward to catching up with you guys. It's your boy Reckless Ray De Niro. And hold on, let me see what we got here. Let's see what we got on the outro for you. It's your boy Reckless Ray De Niro, and we're going to be up out of here.